Before I jump into the video, I'm a complete amateur when it comes to gas. So this is what I've learned, this is how I did it. You should do what you think is best, but this is not a professional advice, all right? This is just me doing my stuff, and it worked. Look.
Are you ready? Give it to them.
So, why did I choose to have gas in the first place? Good question, because nowadays you can do everything with electricity or wood. All different opinions aside, I still think that gas is the cheapest and the most convenient fuel you can have on board. Especially in Europe, we still use it a lot, and we have refill places, we can get it cheaply, so gas for me. Also, I like cooking with gas. You just like, I like cooking on fire, you know, it's nice. So when it comes to gas in a van, you have three options. You have propane, butane, and LPG, which is a mixture of them both. Now, propane and butane, let me read this. Propane has a lower boiling point than butane, so it will continue to convert from a liquid to gas even when it's very cold. So propane as an LPG, I don't know why it says propane as an LPG, because the way what is LPG? What is LPG? LPG also referred to as simply propane or butane. Yeah. LPG versus propane. Propane is LPG, but not all LPG is propane. This is getting complicated. As far as I'm concerned, LPG is a gas type or a combination of gas types, which works in really cold temperatures, and you can refill it at most gas stations. And that's what I wanted. Because there's also a brand, at least here in Europe, it's camping gas, and the tanks are really cheap, especially when you... It's propane, so it does work when it's really cold. But the problem with these things is when it's empty, you have to go to a special camping gas point to exchange your empty tank to a full tank. Where with LPG, you can just refill it at most gas stations. An LPG tank itself is pretty expensive, especially when you compare it to propane, like camping gas. But you can refill it real cheap at a gas station. You don't have to constantly get a new tank. So I think in the long run, it's the cheapest option out there. So let's run through the setup here. The way we're able to have fire here is because this thing is connected here to this pipe, and this pipe goes all the way to the gas tap right there, and the gas tap is connected to that thing, which I'm gonna talk about, and this goes in there. So where did it go? Well, I'm gonna show you where it goes. It goes all the way to that enormous 25-liter thing. Whoops. So this is where the gas comes out of the cylinder. And this is where the LPG gets into the cylinder via this LPG hose that goes all the way to the side of the van. And this is where I fill it. So the way this works is I have these steel frames, and I used the two thickest bolts I'd laying around, drilled two holes in the chassis, and that way I connected this 25-liter tank to the chassis. So when it comes to these LPG tanks, you have also the standalone. You don't have to mount it under the car. But I thought it was pretty convenient to save some space. Not that I really need that, but it's still convenient. But the main reason is that, at least here in Europe, it's illegal to fill a standalone LPG tank at most gas stations. Okay, so this is what you need. A filler adapter, a LPG hose, a gas cylinder, a regulator, a manifold, and then obviously the hob or the heater or whatever appliance you want to use gas with. You have different filler adapters. Choose whichever one you like. You have the ones where you have to screw the thing on constantly. I didn't choose it because I know I'm gonna lose that thing. So I just have it on the side of the car. Works for me. A LPG hose. I don't know if they're the same in foreign countries as they are in the Netherlands, but we have this standard LPG hose, which really thick rubber. So yeah, chose that one. So gas cylinder. either a standalone or a fixed one, an exterior one. I have the exterior one. The next thing you need is a regulator. What a regulator does is it regulates the gas. No, what it is for is if you have a lot of gas in your tank, the pressure's high. So if you don't have a regulator, just whenever it's full and whenever the tank is empty, you have like a not so much pressure going on. So you want something that no matter how full your tank is, regulates the gas into a constant pressure. So these regulators come in different pressures. Choose whichever one corresponds with your appliances. Make sense? Makes sense to me. And then you want a manifold, a way to, what is this called? Separate, divide, to do this with the gas. I chose to have a manifold with 3 taps. One is for my heater, one is for my hob, and I have a spare one in case I wanted to have a gas heater, which you will see in the other video right here, right there. Click that video. You can choose to have a flexible gas hose or a copper gas pipe. I chose to have an 8mm gas pipe because a flexible hose you need to replace every 5 years, and I don't know, it felt more sturdy, it felt more like it will last. When you do choose to have a flexible hose, keep in mind you have to attach them with the Jubilee clips instead of these compression fittings. So when I was looking into gas hubs, I wanted something cool. I wanted a proper gas hub. But the thing is, with normal gas hubs, they're fueled by natural gas. And you can't use a natural gas appliance with propane or butane gas, because the pressure with natural gas is a lot lower than it is with butane or propane. So the holes in which the gas comes through, they're way bigger with natural gas. So when you use that with propane or butane, it just, you have a huge flame. You don't want that. So you either have to rebuild them, fix them, so you can use a propane or butane, get new nozzles. So keep that in mind. Don't use natural gas appliances with propane or butane. If you choose to have a standalone gas cylinder in your van, make sure you have a drop vent, because if there is a leakage and the gas comes down, you don't want to assemble all that gas in one place, because you're just making a huge bomb that way. So make sure you install a drop vent, so if there is a leakage, at least the gas can drop out of the van. Oh, I guess that's it. Yes! Last little tip for you: if you installed the whole bunch and there is a leakage, you'll probably smell it, but you can also use soap around the connections and it starts bubbling when gas is escaping. So thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you did, feel free to ask any question or suggestion what sort of video you would like on this channel, and I will try my best to answer them or make the video. Ciao!